Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Heimdallr HMSK01 Monster. This is another super cool, fun watch to review. Since nobody actually sends me watches yet, I pick out the watches I want to review, and I'm not going to buy a watch I really don't like. So I'm afraid this is going to be another very positive review. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing my Sterling GMT Pepsi. My review of this watch has reached over 400 views now. And Grogo is wearing the plated Nautilus homage. Grogo wants a raise, but I told him that my channel doesn't make any money. He said he really admired my Ewok action figures. So he said he either gets a raise or Ewoks. I've already done an unboxing video for this, but I put it back in the box anyway in case you missed it. Just your basic box. And here's the watch. Very cool watch. This watch is an homage to the Seiko Monster. But Monster isn't the official name of the Seiko, so we can quit calling this an homage and just call it a Monster. My friend Kevin says it reminds him of a meat vortex from the Journey to the Savage Planet video game. And I see the resemblance there. That's why I used it as my title card for this review. This is based on the Generation 2 Monster, which has the pointy shark teeth. The first generation had more flat indices that kind of resembled teeth, where this one, there's really no denying these are teeth. A lot of people prefer the Generation 1 and think the teeth look a little tacky. On the other hand, I prefer the Generation 2. I just think it looks cool. It would have been nice, though, if Heimdallr would have gave you a choice of either. This goes for $180 on AliExpress or the Heimdallr website, but I paid $140 for it during the big AliExpress sale. Still quite a bit of money, though, for an AliExpress watch. This watch is 42 millimeters at the bezel, 47.5 lug to lug, 13.5 millimeters thick, has a 20 millimeter lug width, and weighs 186 grams with 2 links removed. It has a 120 click unidirectional bezel, has the Seiko feel to it, solid clicks with no back play, but very, very stiff. The bezel is solid steel with no insert, and it kind of slopes inward to the flat crystal. Has nicely engraved numbers. The engraving is very deep, and the black is painted on very nicely. And the 0 position, the engraving is very deep, and the lume pip, it gives it the resemblance of an eye, which helps with the monster look. No jokes about a one-eyed monster, please. The bezel is protected at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock with kind of like a mini shroud. This is sort of like a tuna, but just smaller, and the shroud is part of the case and not separate. The shroud, though, when you're spinning the bezel, you can really pinch your fingers with it. The dial has painted on indices, and if you look at the chapter ring, it's kind of hard to see with my camera, you can see that there's little cutouts for the indices, and all the minute markers are on the chapter ring. Then we have the Heimdallr shark logo without the word Heimdallr on it. And then, of course, every time I review these, the hands are in the way. Let me move the hands. Here we are back at 1010, so we can get a better look at the dial. If you look at the bottom, it says automatic divers 200 meter. The word divers implies that the watch is ISO 6425 certified. I emailed Heimdallr and never received a response about that, whether or not that was true or not. I asked if anyone knew on the Watch You Seek forums, and I received a bunch of course not, it's a Chinese knockoff brand, blah, 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 horology. It is doubtful that it is ISO 6425 certified because that would require every watch to be tested, which isn't economically feasible for a $180 watch. I chose the orange colorway because Seiko used to make an orange watch that looked just like this. They also have a red, blue, green, and black colorway. They also have black PVD coated versions of each colorway. And there's also a blue one that has a blue bezel. When I bought this during the AliExpress sale, the red one was sold out. The hour hand is a fat sword, similar to the samurai. And the second hand has a little lume arrow rather than a lollipop. The movement is at NH36 with the day-date complication. It's basically the same as the 4R36 on the Gen 2 Seiko. I'm not going to show you a time graph chart anymore because we're all very familiar with an NH35/36. Accurate enough at this price point, but not as consistent as a higher end movement. The movement hand winds and hacks. The crystal is a flat sapphire, and I don't know if it has AR coating or not. Some sites say it does, others don't. I don't see that blue tint or anything, but it does a pretty good job with the light, so maybe it does. You can see through it very easily. The case is all stainless steel, and it has little indents that match the indents of the bezel. It has an unsigned screw-in crown at the 4 o'clock position, actually 3:45. And it's got these crown guards. One's just part of the shroud, and the other one is just a flat stick that sticks up right there. Unfortunately, this crown guard makes it kind of difficult to unscrew the crown. You kind of catch your finger on it. It's not smooth. Plus, you can catch it too on this shroud here. So unscrewing the crown is not a smooth operation. Plus, when you go to thread it back in, sometimes you miss. So I've seen better thread action. The case back is just a screw-in case back with the Heimdallr shark logo. Always have it upside down. Then it just tells you automatic, stainless steel, water resistant, and sapphire crystal. I'm glad it doesn't have a display case back. It wouldn't fit the aesthetics of this tool watch. The lugs are short and low and keep the profile low. So it makes a big 42mm watch not wear quite as large. I guess you would call this bracelet monster style. I don't really ever see it on anything other than a monster. How it has this little top center link, but they're single links. And the bracelet doesn't have fitted end links. I don't think there's enough room to do that. But since the lugs are so short, there's no gap. So it looks nice. And the nice thing about that too is it makes it really easy to change bracelets if you want another bracelet, because you don't have to worry about the end link fitting. As you can see, the end links stick out past the center of the lugs, giving it a larger appearance. And so when it tapers down, it goes from 20mm to 20mm, so it's kind of like a fake taper. The links are held together with a pin and collar system. But instead of the collar being on one end, the collar is in the middle. Let me go ahead and show you one of them. See, here's the collar, and it goes into the middle of the link. Oops, already had one in there. And so when you, and then the pins are unidirectional. You can push them in and pull them out from either direction. It was kind of difficult to push the pins out. You definitely need a tool like this. I would not recommend using a hammer. Not recommend that at all. And pushing the pins was quite difficult also. I did this to one of them trying to push it in. As you can see, I bent the crap out of it. You often hear complaints about pin and collar systems, and after sizing this bracelet, I agree with that. I removed 2 links to fit this on my 7.5-inch wrist. So if you have a much larger than 8-inch wrist, you're going to have trouble wearing this watch. The sign clasp is semi-milled. See, this part is milled, but the housing part is just pressed. This clasp is basically the same one that was on the Heimdallr watch I reviewed not too long ago. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. Looks nice, fits good. I'm using the very last micro adjust. So I probably could have just removed 1 link and put it on the very last one. I wanted to show you the watch on a NATO strap, but first I want to show you that this too also has the really big spring bars. Very thick and sturdy. Here's the watch on my No Time to Die NATO strap. Since the spring bars are so big, the watch isn't going anywhere, so I was able to fold the second strap underneath here. And then it wears a lot lower than if you have both straps underneath the case back. Here's the watch on a leather strap. As you can see, that looks really good too. This monster is a real strap monster. And here's the watch on a mesh bracelet. As you can see, there's no gap between the case and the end link. Looks really nice in the mesh. So once again, you can put just about any bracelet you can think of on this watch, due to the fact that you don't need the fitted end links. Here we are in the Lume room. This watch has the best Lume of any watch I've ever owned. Normally I have to charge the Lume first before showing it to you because my camera is so bad. But here, let me turn off the lights now without charging it. There, you can see the Lume without charging it. Normally, with my camera, you could hardly see it. And this one, you can see it quite well. So let me go ahead and charge it then and show you a really good shot. Give it a good charge here. Now look at that glow. Isn't that cool? When I look at all my watches in the morning, when I wake up at 5 and it's still dark out, this is the one I can see the best. This has better Lume than my Seiko 5. What do I like about this watch? Well, it has great build, nice solid case, good bracelet, and I really like the monster teeth. The monster look is just cool. And this watch has the best Lume I've ever seen. It blows away all my other watches. What are my gripes and groans? Well, the pin and collar bracelet system. Oh, that just was really irritating to size this bracelet. And please, Heimdallr, do not put divers on your dial if it's not ISO 6425 certified. I know that seems kind of petty, but I don't make the rules. And I really wish this clasp had a 4 micro adjust and not 3. 4 is the perfect number because 4 is larger than 1 link. And so you can always get that perfect fit. Do I recommend this watch? Of course I do. This watch is great. It's really cool. And it gives you that classic monster look. and it's very well built. So I don't think you can go wrong buying this watch. Once again, I paid $140 for it during the big AliExpress sale, and I think it's worth every penny. Well, thank you for watching my review, and I'll be back later with hopefully another unboxing. Bye.